Hey, what's up guys, how's it going? Okay, so I just finished playing through the main storyline of Assassin's Creed Unity today, and I'm just gonna say, it just may be my new favorite Assassin's Creed game of all time. Alright, so full disclosure, before I go any further, I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed. The first game, Assassin's Creed, back in 2007, was actually the reason why I bought an Xbox 360 in the first place. That's the reason why I got a job to buy the Xbox 360 in the first place. You know, I had played every single game after that since it came out, and I do have my thoughts on each of those games, and I'll be keen to share that later on in another video. But I never ever touched Unity. That is up until a few days ago. So what, here I am 8 years later after it came out, and I'm finally getting around to playing Assassin's Creed Unity on my PS5. And honestly, I'm glad I waited. It's re-sparked my love of this whole entire franchise. Unity is not perfect by any means, and I'll share my thoughts about that later in the video, but for what it is and what it does, it's up there with the best of them. I won't go too much into the story because I feel like I still need to play through the game a few more times to really get my head around the story, and you know, pick up all the pieces that I've missed and all that sort of stuff there. But I will provide some context for the setting of the game. The main character and assassin you play as in Unity is Arno. Arno's father was an assassin that gets killed from Shay from Assassin's Creed Rogue at the start of the game. Arno ends up adopted by a Templar Grandmaster who's conveniently also the father of your new squeeze Elise. Arno and Elise fall in love, and being completely honest, it feels like Romeo and Juliet. You know, it's a very cliche love story. And saying that though, the game does start off really strong. But when you do finally get to join the assassins in the game, that's kind of when the story started to go slow for me, and I just started to lose interest. I understand the general context and the key storyline characters, but overall it was pretty forgettable for me. Story isn't really the main reason why I play the Assassin's Creed games. What I think about what I love the most about Assassin's Creed is the fact you can actually play as an assassin. Actually being an agile assassin, hiding in crowds and climbing up and running over buildings and rooftops, just playing into the assassin fantasy, it's just super appealing to me. And Unity has quickly become one of my favorites because it nails that feeling. I mean, you're based in a living and breathing Paris that's full of these dirty streets when you go into the poorer districts, and then these beautiful, rich areas that is just dense and just full of history. It is pretty random with the English accents. The graphics hold up really well in this game, though it's not perfect, and I can see that there's some draw distance issues there. Overall, when you're just running through the streets or running over rooftops, it doesn't really matter because the game just looks so good. Paris as a city is dense and gives you the perfect playground to be agile and stealthy as you run, jump, swing, and leap around the city and streets like Batman, living in the French Revolution. It does take some time to master parkour. Once you get your head around mastering, it provides the best parkour in the franchise, making the moment-to-moment gameplay so addictive and fun. I've heard comparisons to the Spider-Man PS4 game in terms of, you know, navigating the city, and you definitely get that feeling here. In my opinion, this is probably the best parkour we've had in an Assassin's Creed game to date. The customization and weapons are really good. There's a huge variety in the weapons that you can actually choose from, everything from spears, maces, swords, gun swords. While there isn't as much colour selection as I would personally like, I like the fact that that's there. You know, you can actually look the way that you want to look. The main missions are nice and open. You could put forward into how you approach each target in an almost Hitman-esque way. Again, nailing that Assassin's Creed fantasy. The sword fighting is honestly so stylish and fun. I would often just seek fights over doing stealth and missions because it's just so good. I really enjoy exploring the Creed elements within this game, despite the main story probably not going into it as much as I would hope. You get to explore the Assassin's Creed headquarters, which is really cool, just ironically being underneath the main Templar's house, which is kind of weird. I really enjoyed the cafe and the income generation within this game, and with prior titles as well. You know, actually being a landlord and earning that passive income means that you don't have to grind as much, and you can actually just enjoy the game for what it is and just have fun. You can earn a lot of money by just acquiring a lot of properties and doing up the cafes. Some of the things I didn't enjoy so much, well, I guess the story. You know, while it did start off really strong and I really loved Arno as a character in those initial sequences, as soon as he turned into assassin, he just became so one note to me. You know, it just felt like could have tied in more with the setting, you know, of the French Revolution. While it was cool to sort of walk around the city streets and to see people being beheaded and to see people being hanged, just felt like the story didn't go into it as much as I would have liked. Some of the minor nitpicks for me was that there's no unarmed combat option, you know, so you can't fight people with your fists, which is something I actually really enjoyed doing, especially in Assassin's Creed 3, just being Connor and actually just running around smashing people's skulls with your bare hands. Since finishing the main story, I've literally just been playing the game with a podcast in the background, running around the city pretending I'm a superhero, which is something that I used to do in the older games as well. I probably spent hours in Brotherhood just roaming the city and killing guards. That's what tells me that I've found a game that I really enjoy if I'm going to be spending that much time in it. This game provides you with all the right things to make you truly feel like an assassin, which again is the key reason I like this franchise so much in the first place, and what I wish was a bigger focus in particular within the newer games, such as sort of Odyssey and Valhalla. While I do enjoy those games, you know, as they are, I just don't get that feeling that they are an Assassin's Creed game. And the whole reason why I love this franchise is because they are Assassin's Creed games. Which kind of leads me back to my point in terms of why I'm glad I found this game now. You know, after playing through Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla, I just kind of felt like I was just losing interest within this franchise, and it wasn't until I picked up Unity again that it got me back into it. I love this franchise so much, you know, and I'm really grateful that I got to experience Unity now, past all of the bugs and the issues that we had at the start. It gives me the same vibe I got from playing Assassin's Creed 2 for the story and the funness of Brotherhood, and I love it for that. If I was to sum it up for playing Unity in 2021, I would say Unity feels fresh, but in a nostalgic kind of way. It's a seriously underrated game, and I'm glad to see that people are shedding a brand new light on it. It's definitely helped to re-spark my love of this franchise. Anyways, I'm really keen to hear what did you think of Unity. Have you played it recently? Let me know in the comments below. I have plenty of Assassin's Creed related content coming up on my channel, but I'm really keen to hear also, you know, what do you want to see from me going forward? I've got a lot of ideas and I need some help. So if you enjoyed this video and you know, you can relate to some of the stuff I'm saying, I'd be really keen to hear your thoughts regarding what I should do for the future of my channel going forward. This is my first video on this new channel, and previously I had just been reviewing 1/6 scale figures. I'm going to be reviewing some on this channel too, in particular the Damn Toys Assassin's Creed figures, which look really awesome, but I haven't unboxed them yet, so I'm planning on doing a few unboxing videos coming up. Anyways, that's all for me. My name is Ruz. This is Rad World signing off. Stay rad, stay wild. That was lame.